Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our channel. My name is Inkazi. I'm based in Houston, Texas.
And I'm Nana, and I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, so we're going to get into this video. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe. Today, we're going to be talking about how to overcome loneliness in a new city. All right. So, me and I were talking a couple of days ago about how a lot of people we've been speaking to are experiencing, like going through like that phase of like feeling alone. And both of the cities that we live in, Houston and Charlotte, they're big transplant cities, right? So a lot of people have moved from different places in America, and even different places within the world, right? And after the 2020, everyone knows what happened. I think a lot of people have been struggling with this more than ever, feeling displaced to an extent, having a lack of community, and just not really getting into the rhythm of things when it comes to building that community in a new place. I talk about this on my threads. I have videos talking about this. Location is important. I love living in Houston, Texas. I don't see myself anywhere else anytime soon, but I'm open. But the reality is that your experience in a city is highly tied to your community. So you can go to the most lit cities, popular cities, Miami, LA, New York, Atlanta, all these cities. If you don't have the people, if you don't have like a group of people to do stuff with, if you don't have like a, like a group of people, I could see why you would struggle. And it's not easy, As you get older, we're more disconnected. A lot of people make like they're really good friends like in college, high school. So at this age, if we really want to build community, from my experience, I feel like it takes a lot more effort and you have to be a lot more intentional. And I think that's also why a lot of people are struggling because, to be honest, a lot of people aren't really willing to put in the work, or they may not know how. Maybe it's not that they don't want to, but they don't know how. So, Nana, what is your thoughts on loneliness and living in a new city? What was your experience? Because you moved to Charlotte almost 5 years ago, so you can speak on this, I guess, a little bit more than me.
So I moved during, real quick before we get into the topic, I moved during 2020 during the pandemic, and I started working shortly after, and I realized that I felt that feeling, but I didn't know what it was. Right, like I never really attributed to. I never sat around and said, "Oh, I think I'm lonely," or "I think I'm lonely." But I would go to work 8 to 5, come home, then on the weekends, kind of like run around. Then Sunday, you kind of feel like, okay, back to work again. And even though you're going into work, you're around people. So thankfully, I wasn't remote. I was still around people Monday through Friday, but it still felt different. So it was come to the point where I one of my old videos, I was like, I'm moving to Dallas. I'm so over Charlotte, blah, blah,
And you
blah.
already here like a year, right?
It was like not even, I was saying this, maybe it was 2021. I moved 2020. I was like over it. And then 2021, I met one friend. And then from there, I met way more people. And then in 2022, I had the time of my life. So it just goes to show what Ngozi was saying, talking about, meeting people and having community. And it is hard when you live alone. You definitely have to make an effort because you're not just going to wake up and, have people around you unless you're living with people. That might be different, but I wasn't living with anyone. So I did realize that my experience changed so much when I started, to meet people and network and go out and that this and that. But I find it harder to do that as I've been here longer. I find myself not really wanting to put in that effort, or, being a bit lazy, or being, a bit scared of people, like, oh, I'm kind of over people, like, oh, they come with this, or the kind of being scared to enter a community, even though that may be what I desire or what I want, just because of maybe a few past experiences. But yeah, that's my story living in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I definitely could relate to this topic, and I do think sometimes there's some shame attached to this where people don't want to admit. Like one time I asked the guy, I was like, "Do you get lonely?" He's like, "I don't get lonely. I like my space." Blah blah blah. Well, I'm just like, huh? Like,
Like,
what's wrong?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what you're saying that you get lonely? Like even Drake has a song. He said, "I get lonely too." You know what I mean? And he's Drake. He's a millionaire. Maybe he. You know what I mean? So it's a natural feeling, but I feel like sometimes some people, at least me, I feel like I was in denial. Or maybe I just didn't even know what I was feeling. And it's normal. You're moving to a new city. You don't know anyone. All you're doing is going to work, come home, running errands. That gets you is very doing that makes it very easy to feel isolated. If
Yeah.
you weren't feeling isolated, it would be kind of strange. And Gussie doesn't get lonely though, because she says she knows how to keep herself busy, so she doesn't
I'm
get.
not, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't get lonely. What I was saying is I can remember when I first moved here in February, it makes 3 years, and I was with my brother, we're shopping, he was helping me. And when he left, I'll never forget that night I had to sleep by myself, like sleep in my apartment by myself. I was like, wow. But it's like the thing about life is that people you get used to things, good or bad things, right? So I'm not saying living by myself is a bad thing. Maybe to some people it's a bad thing. But the next day I didn't have that feeling.
I had
So
that feeling when mommy left me too.
yeah, so I'm not. I speak about loneliness in the sense that people think loneliness is just being alone. You could be with people and still feel lonely. I was telling Nana how I personally felt lonelier in New Jersey than I do in Houston. Like I really did. And I think, like I said, it's because I didn't have a social life. I didn't have community. It was just very difficult. Like it was like I was pulling teeth. I just felt very isolated living in New Jersey. Mine just living with my mom. I was living with my brother. So I'm here, I'm living by myself, but I feel like other than maybe like the first month I was here, right? I don't feel that loneliness like that I felt in New Jersey. When I think about loneliness and I think back, I'm like, wow, I really felt lonely in New Jersey. I don't really feel that here. And not to say you
I
don't have your
don't, I don't believe you felt lonely in Jersey.
okay, not to say you don't have bouts of go like it comes to go, but I'm not saying it's even as a good thing. When they're trying to, throw shade at me, is that I keep myself very busy. Like I feel like I don't even have enough time to do the thing. I don't even have enough time for myself. I think about like I don't know how women with kids are doing it, married people with partners. Of course, I may have to cut out some, but I don't even feel like I'm doing anything extra. Like it's literally like activities of daily living, cooking. Maybe that's why people don't cook. Cooking, grocery shopping, cleaning, hair, laundry. Like it's doing the basics. And I feel like I don't even have enough time to like do like the things I really want to do. So I'm not saying that this is a good thing, but I think a lot of people hide behind loneliness for keeping themselves busy. Whether it's loneliness in terms of desiring a partner or desiring deep meaningful friendships or desiring just more in life. I think it's very easy to hide and to like kind of ignore it or hide behind loneliness by really just keeping yourself busy. So I'm not saying that I intentionally do that, but I'm just saying like based on like my lifestyle, I feel like I don't even really have the time to sit down and process loneliness, if that makes sense. Not to say I don't get lonely. I think more so the weekends when you feel it more, right? Because during
Hmm.
the week, I'm telling you, by the time you work, you eat, you cook dinner. I don't use microwaves, y'all. I'm extra. So every meal I eat, I'm basically prepping it. I haven't bought out food in 8 days, y'all, since last Monday.
Really, really, I haven't bought our soup since Friday, and I thought I was doing something.
So all I say is that literally every meal I eat is like I'm cooking. Like if I'm eating my night, like anything I'm preparing, I'm using the toaster oven. Getting a pan out. I'm warming it up. I'm extra. Microwave causes cancer. So I cook. I literally just meat. If I calculate the time I use preparing and eating is more than an hour every day. It's like maybe 2 hours. Like I just like I don't even have enough time during the week. But maybe on the weekend, Saturday, be like, oh, okay. Wow, like you know what I mean? If you're not really like doing stuff, I feel like that's when it will hit you more. But I go to church on Sundays, so I'm not really the point I'm making is that I don't really just I feel like I not to say because okay, for example, I work from home. So people may feel like, oh, you work from home, it would hit you more. But then people go to work every day and still experience a lot of loneliness. You know what I mean? So I think it just really depends, on your personality, the community you have. Like I said, if you have like activities, do you have events? Are you a part of something that you meet? I talk about this all the time, doing something that you're meeting at a certain cadence.
But to be fair, I feel like it's just your personality because you're kind of
Yeah,
a
I think part of it
loner.
is personality. Yes, I'm an extroverted loner.
But you keep talking about community. Are you seeing people? Are you going to people's house during the week? When do you see the people? Once a week? Like you're still
Just
not.
weekends, like the weekends.
You're just very okay with being like. Because I even feel like I'm a loner, but I feel like you're on another level. That you're really okay
But I'm
with just.
also very extroverted. So it's weird. I'm an extroverted loner. Like I can be by myself. Like it's not like I'm not someone who needs to always be around people, always or jump. I don't even have. People say even visit people. I don't even have enough time to do the stuff I need to do in my own apartment. Talk less of leaving my place and visiting people. Like I really don't have the time. So I guess also I don't make the time because I'm okay, right? If it was
Right.
bothering me that much, I would find the time and make it. But I'm okay being by myself. It's not, but people are still important. I will never undermine the importance of people. I know a lot of us have, as we get older, people have had bad experiences. You have friendship fallouts. It can make some people a little like bitter and negative, like, oh, I don't need friends. You do need friends. You don't need 5, 10 friends. I said if you have one or two solid people in your corner, you're good. The rest could just be acquaintances and like people you just know. But no man is an island, no woman is an island. It's important. I think that's the. I was listening to a podcast, my boring Atlanta guys. They were talking about how people are paying thousands to be part of like these social clubs, and he was talking about how like he's not gonna knock it if you have the money, but he honestly feel like you don't need to do that. You can just like do stuff in your community and meet people, because a lot of times people argue why they're paying for these memberships is to like build that community, to be around certain types of people, people that they want to network with certain types of people, blah blah blah. But like you can do that without paying all that money, but I think the big key is that it takes effort. And a lot of times in life we want stuff, whether it's that body or that house or a certain thing, but when it's hard to actually put in the work and get those things. And I think when it comes to stuff like this, it's the same thing. Like a lot of people want that community, but they don't necessarily want to or know how to go about.
I still think you're simplifying. I definitely see why people pay for it because it's just not, you just don't go walk on the street and say, hey,
Mhm.
you find friends. Like
And it's
it's
niche,
really
but
not
it's
that simple.
niche. Exactly. As I said, but I'm saying that was on a level like people are going, it was like thousands of dollars a month. So we're talking about like basic membership would be joining organization. It doesn't have to be on that level of like joining like these fancy clubs, like of course the average person can afford that. But that's why people do join organizations. That's why people do join stuff. I think about even someone had there was a wedding in Houston this weekend. I don't know you're not on Instagram, and I saw like all the people that were like there, that people are follow, and it was like all of our like people from like Temple, like OAS. So people had that even though you feel like, oh, you just went to this thing, you just went to a meeting, like that was a community. Like people are still friends with people they were in that group with in college 15 years ago, 10 years ago. So of course a lot of people will knock, oh, why do you go to this? Oh, this is play, the organization I'm talking about. Oh, you're too old for this. Oh, it's that. But the people that are going there, they know why they're going. It's not necessarily to find a partner or whatever. It's still they have that community. Like when they go, they see their people, they see their friends, they have the people that they can build rapport with. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, you sponsor. So number one, how to overcome loneliness in a new city. So I'm moved to Charlotte. Let's say I move into a city. I'm moving to
Yeah, I had
Houston.
a question. Are we waiting to answer it?
Oh, I didn't see it. Let me see. Question: would y'all agree that it's hard to meet new friends the older you get due to wanting people around you with substance versus when you are younger, just want a body around?
I don't think that's it, me. I think it's because as you're older, people are more isolated. So, for example, like you think about college, people talk about it. Kevin Sims talk about it. RIP. I think it was 3 years he passed. About how like literally college is like the easiest time just to meet people, whether it's an intimate partner, make friends because you're around so many people. When you go into the real world, me and I have these arguments back and forth about making friends at work. I've made a lot of great friends at work, but I'll be honest, well, after work, you don't really talk anymore. I think you can make close friends at work, but I don't want all my friends to be from work. That's my personal preference. But the reason why people go to work and they're making friends at work, that's where they go. If you take away work, you take away some. Most people don't even go to church. Where are you seeing people on a weekly, daily basis versus you being in somewhere like
If you live
right,
close to your
right.
family.
So reality is that I don't think that is necessary. It is harder to meet people, not because of that substance. I'm not saying that's not a part because I do agree that as you get older, you're more selective with your friends and your men. Like it's both ways. Like you just don't want to be friends with anybody because people undermine the importance of the people you keep around you. Like literally, like there was I'm gonna get on Instagram. There was this guy talk about he used to work on the mafia. They were talking about advice. He was like, you have to keep the right people around you. Like everyone thinks they're so like strong. Oh, some people feel like they don't fall to peer pressure. Of course, there's levels to it, right? Like some people are really like I have my one cousin. She's probably like some people are really strong and they can be friends with any type of person. Like they're not really gonna submit to that person's lifestyle. But on average, we all can be easily influenced. So you have to be very picky about the type of people that you keep close to you and that friends as well. So I get that, but I don't think that's the main factor. I think that is just that people are not around people as much. So where are you even seeing these friends to make them? Like people, there's literally Bumble friends. Like people would see that concept, be like, "Oh my god, like that's kind of weird." Like I know when I first heard that, I'm like, "Wow, people are really going on social media, like on Bumble and stuff to
Get
make
a man
friends."
online. Why can't you get a friend
Right.
online?
And I even think about big influencers. Then the CM we follow, like she talked about like almost of her friends being like virtual. She wants to make like real friends. You think about someone on that level who has such a big following, such a big platform. She's so known. A lot of people are struggling. Like it's I think about just getting older, like also remember that people are transitioning to different parts of their life. You may have made friends, you were living in one place, now you're living in the other place. Some people are married, having kids, y'all in different places of life. It's not to say y'all can't be friends, but your friendship changes, right? Those are not the friends I'm going to be outside with. You know what I mean? Like it's different. But just say Atlanta will be fun and more enjoyable with my circles here, but it's easy to meet people here if y'all going, yes, Atlanta, I still may make it.
Yeah,
Frontiers. No,
man.
I'll text later. No, Atlanta's
My cousins are in Charlotte, 4 hours away.
no, it's true. Like I keep saying it. That's in the beginning. I feel like I said, I'm in Houston. I like Houston, but I feel like sometimes we put too much emphasis on the city. It's your people. I still feel like number one is the people.
But
City is
but Petra made the point. But it's easy to meet people here if you are going. So there's certain places
yeah.
that just have a
And
lot
that's
going
why I
on.
still say and location is still very important because there's certain places where people are not as open, people are not as friendly, people are not there's not as many people moving from different places, people are clicky, they have their same friends from high school, from middle school, they're not letting you into their circle. And I get it. They have their secrets, they have their stuff, like people are clicky. I'm not looking for fun though. I like being alone to say, yeah, that's what I said, I'm extra. Nana said it.
I actually don't mind being alone, but I've noticed sometimes like sometimes like I'm
It's
like
not healthy. I feel like to an extent,
yeah,
it does whether people notice it or not, I feel like it does something to your mental. And I feel like that's why I force myself.
mhm.
I can this whole weekend, y'all. I was inside Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday, Rima concert.
Wow, you stayed home for
Rima,
2
I'm saying
days.
because y'all be thinking I'm always outside. I'm telling you, I can stay and not go out for 2 weeks. Like I'm literally like I have too many things to do in my apartment. I have 100 plus videos on my YouTube watch later. I have 1.5 channels. I have things to do. I have emails to go through. I have so many things I could do
Who
at home.
wants to always do productive stuff?
But I'm just saying that some of it, YouTube's not productive. If I'm watching, I love watching vlogs. I like watching YouTube. I like Netflix series. I don't even have time to watch all these shows. Like I have things that I could be doing that are fun, but I do feel like the point you're making is that even if I'm watching and binging shows, that's kind of
That's so
antisocial.
isolating.
Yeah, like it's not, you're not being with people, you're not socializing, you're not, there's something I'm telling you, there's something about as annoying as people are, trust me, and myself included, it's very you need people as much as you think you don't. And this is coming from an extroverted loner. This is coming from someone who can go anywhere by themselves, anywhere, anywhere. Like I'm not someone who I need to be around people. Kevin Samuels used to say women need to go to the bathroom with their friends. Yeah, this is so much. Like I'm
No,
not someone who's
you
clingy.
find loneliness when you're done.
Yeah, I'm not someone who's clingy, but I'm telling you, when I stay in my place too long, I feel the difference. I'm like, guys, you gotta go out. There's a reason why people just go out for a drink and come back. They're not crazy. They're not. Oh, they don't. They may have the same drink in their fridge
Mhm.
that they can open up and drink for half the cost. They know why they're going out. It's not healthy just to sit. That's why people are going through it during the lockdown. It's not healthy just to be in too much. I've noticed that. But yeah, I can be by myself. Trust me. And that's not necessarily a good thing. I'm not even bragging because it trickles into that other side, but we won't get into that.
Interesting. I'm seeing loneliness definition: sadness because one has no friends or company. This is Oxford. And then of a place, the quality of being unfrequented in remote isolation. Understanding. Merriam-Webster says lonely definition: being without company, cut off from others, not frequented by human beings, sad from being alone, producing a feeling of bleakness or desolation. Interesting. So then, how could, according to the definition, how can you be around people and still be lonely? So it's deeper than that. It's deeper than, well, this Wikipedia's definition. Loneliness is an unpleasant emotional response to perceived isolation.
Yeah, Sarah, you just froze for me.
You couldn't hear me?
No, I could just hear you now. I couldn't hear you before.
Or really, you didn't hear me giving all those definitions
You
of
just said
loneliness?
Wikipedia, then you froze.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay. So I want to talk about the topic. Okay, then we'll go to the questions. I do make plans though when people want to have extra time, but if I'm working nonstop, I need alone time to recharge. Yeah, I get it because you work, and then you want to sleep, then you want to do it's just
Cook, you gotta clean, you gotta do like you still need to like you gotta get stuff done. Like people can also be a distraction. Trust me, I know. Like you still
think about it. When we're in college, didn't you get stuff done and still like with your roommates right there? Like, didn't you do
but you
stuff?
didn't have that level of responsibility. You can't compare it. Like you're not cleaning a house or an apartment. You're not grocery shopping, cooking to an
Yeah, but
extent.
you're missing my point. I'm saying like compared to like how like college, like let's say we'll go to the library and study with each other. I think what's making it hard is that people feel like they need to do everything they on their to-do list, then create time to be with other people.
Yes, I've had
Versus,
that study about why a non-blacks do better, fare better in school because they can do activities, social activities, and school activities with the same group of friends. So it goes to the fact that you and your friend go into the library and studying. You guys are doing it's social. Like yeah, you are doing something productive. For example, it's like you can go over to your friend's house while they're cleaning and cooking.
that's what I'm saying. Like, so you're talking
You
about studying
can.
than in college. I'm talking about just like you don't need to. I basically the point I make is that you don't need to view it like, oh, I need to do everything I need to do on my to do list before I can be around people. You could
Mhm.
be doing your normal activities of daily living around people.
And I feel like low key, I feel like that's what guys be doing more so. Like
Mhm.
guys, when I think about guys how to be with their friends, I feel like it's not just to go outside. It's not just to like
Wow.
socialize. I feel like they'll go to each other's house and just be doing like I don't know how to explain it. Like they'll just be watching each other, like I don't know, like cooking, like they'll just be hanging with each other. Like I don't know, maybe it's just my personality. How I feel like I don't really go and hang with women. Like I feel like if I'm with a woman, we got to be doing something. That's in my mind. We got to be out, going out. We're doing this. Like I don't really sit around and just hang out with my female friends. I don't, and I feel
Well,
like
for someone that's experiencing loneliness, maybe that's a suggestion, like to just try and be around people more. You don't necessarily have to go out because I know that could be like overwhelming. Not everyone likes to go out, not everyone wants to go out. So maybe doing like everyday stuff with people like grocery shopping, going to the gym, getting a gym buddy, going to church with somebody, like things that you would already do. Try doing it with like an associate or a friend or a, you know, someone that you like. Maybe that can help. But yeah, okay. So how to overcome loneliness in a new city. Number one, Ngozi basically talked about keeping yourself busy. So does anyone else have any tips like of how to overcome loneliness in a new city? Things that you have done or things that you think would be helpful?
I think you just said it. Don't stay by yourself. I think that's a big one, and the reason why we're tackling on this loneliness is because loneliness can lead to depression. And
Mhm.
depression is a serious thing. Like it's not you don't want to get there. Trust me, if you're someone who's ever experienced it, been close to it, it is the devil. So a lot of times people fall into that because the loneliness they get into a depression, being not really being around people, not even if you're not really around people, certain people can't tell the signs, right? So right now, if you're around people, if you know people, you kind of know like something is off. The energy is off. They're kind of going towards that direction. You could try and like pull them away. That's why I mentioned that's why people go out. They go to the bar. They do this stuff. They just push us to go out because it does help. It helps versus you just staying in your house and because low key like you're isolating. If you're staying by yourself, you're not really going around people. That literally it can easily lead to depression.
And number two, don't stay by yourself. Okay. I feel like if you're meeting people at an older age, you shouldn't look to trust them unless y'all getting married. What?
You respond, Mia. You keeping skipping my girl Mia, so you're not in order. Mia said, "Question: Would y'all agree that the older you get, you don't trust people as easy when you were younger, especially females?" I would say yes and no. Let me explain. Mia know how to go with the questions.
Why
I
did I
would
think that question was the other question?
no, you're not. You skipping her. I would say yes and no. I would feel like you don't trust people as easily, but at the same time, I feel like being older gives you a certain level of discernment. That when you meet people, you can kind of tell like this person is genuine or they're not.
Mhm.
So, for example, I feel like now that I'm older, I've made friends and I've had more intimate friendships with people within months that would have taken me years when I was younger. So I feel like it kind of is the opposite because you would say, okay, you don't trust people as easily or you're not as guarded. But I feel like sometimes that mindset can be dangerous because I feel like it kind of makes us paranoid. It makes us feel like everyone's against it. There's no good people. Remember that the people you meet in also too, they need something. They're looking for that friendship. They're vulnerable as well. So it's almost like I get what you're trying to say, but I feel like at the same time, I feel like getting older because my discernment is stronger. I can weed people out quicker. So if I meet you, I can tell this girl's kind of funny. It's gonna really just end there. Versus if I meet you and I vibe and I trust you, I don't need to take that long. It's almost like dating. You know, people say, "Oh, date." Like I'm not dating someone for 5 years now. I can have two conversations and it kind of scopes someone out.
For 5 months. Petra
Yeah,
replied to me. I feel like if you're meeting people at an older age, you shouldn't look to trust them unless y'all getting
but I feel
married.
like that's the opposite, Petra. You're kind of contradicting yourself because right now, if you meet in that man, what's the difference in a man and what? I feel like the man's even worse. The man is even it can hurt you more. This is someone you're looking to marry, and people are dating people for 3, 6 months and claiming
She's
that
talking
they
about
know them.
friends. I think she's talking about if you're meeting people at an old like friends that you shouldn't look to trust
Yeah,
them.
but I'm saying that she says you shouldn't look to trust
But
them.
if the person's gonna be a deep friend, I feel like I need to be able to trust you, period. Because like loyalty is kind of big to me, and I'm not gonna be having friends that I can't really like. If I call someone a friend, I need to be vulnerable to you to an extent. So if I
But
can't
you're
trust
not letting me finish with the question. I feel like if
you,
you're meeting people at older age, you shouldn't look to trust them unless y'all are getting married. Basically saying you shouldn't really be looking to trust anyone but your future husband. I don't
yeah.
agree with that. I don't agree with that. Because I feel as if I feel like what's the difference? Like if anything, I feel like the future husband, the trust should even be harder because this is someone that can literally destroy your life.
But
For
that's what
and
she's saying. You shouldn't look to trust them unless y'all get married. She's saying that you shouldn't worry about these women friends. You shouldn't care about trusting them too much. But
Petra, elaborate on what you're saying. Maybe I'm reading too into it.
and me, and number three, pray to God for
That's what I
discernment when it
said.
comes to the people you are meeting. Okay, and this is a big one, right?
Mhm.
Because it's very easy if you're lonely, you're in a new city, that you just want to be friends with, like, you just need friends. You really, really want friends, right? So sometimes it's like with even with dating in relation, sometimes it can lead you to kind of be desperate. And people
Mhm.
don't, so it's like you just want people around, but you also still have to be careful that it's just not anyone you want around. It's just not anyone that you want, we're gonna let Petra said, "Are these friends deep friends? They're all fake." Petra, you sound good.
Stop, stop.
Wow,
That's not true. I've made very good friends in the last 3 years being in Houston. Like deep, yes, you can. Like I said, it's of course you say you have to vet people. Same way you're supposed to vet a man. You're not going to meet someone and they coming off. I think let me tell you that I think this is the issue that kind of ties into that. And we talk about discernment. You have to take your time. And I think that's the problem, even when it comes to dating, even friendships. People meet people, they want to be doing all buddy buddy in the group chat. You're doing this, you're jumping up and down. You're like, you don't know these people. You still have to take time and vet people. It doesn't mean you have to know them for 5 years or 3 years, but you see how somebody moves, you see how they respond to situations, you see how the big thing for me when I know I could be close friends with someone was when they don't tell me their other friends' business. I don't, all my friends that I'm close with, I don't know anything about any of their friends
I don't
at
mean they're
all.
not talking to.
But what I'm
That's
trying to explain is that I've had friends that are like that. And I feel like when people are kind of like move like that and they be telling you all this business, it makes me kind of think about, are you coming and telling people my business? Are you talking about me to other people? That's a big thing that I look for when I think about friendship.
But
Like,
I agree with Petra to an extent. Is that like not every friend needs to be a close friend, right? So don't
yeah,
so
yeah,
you just need someone to go to the gym with. You
right.
just need someone to go to the mall
You
with.
go check out the new restaurants in your city
Yeah,
with.
like not everyone that you meet, you have to be so sad. I guess that's Petra's point. Like you just need people to help you not be lonely, right?
Yeah.
Like you just need it can be surface level, definitely for sure. Mia said number four. Always ask yourself, are you engaged with a person out of loneliness, boredom, program, or purpose? This is deep. Are you engaged with, and this is from, I guess, dating too. Are you engaged with the person out of loneliness, boredom, program, or purpose? It sounds very serious. So, like, okay.
Like if it wasn't for the fact, like basically, I feel like it's like basically is this person adding value.
Wait,
Like
always ask yourself when meeting anyone, are you engaged with this person out of loneliness, boredom, program, or purpose?
I think basically like is this person adding value? And I feel like at this age, like I said, you're not about even a friendship date. You got to be adding value. Like people have too many things to be doing with their time, too busy. Like there's money to be made. Like you got to be adding value to my life. Fetch said, just have friends. Don't worry about the trust. People have priorities other than you. I get that, but let me tell you why I feel like, especially for people like us who are living in places where we don't really like, we're not in our home state. There's a Bible verse that says, none of you've quoted it before. What's a Bible verse about friends, a friend and a family at better is a why I feel like Okay, better is a friend. Okay, this is Proverbs 20. Nearby New King James. This is Proverbs 27:10. It's to 11. Do not forsake your own friend or your father's friend, nor go to your brother's house in the day of your calamity. Better is a neighbor nearby than a brother far away. This is Proverbs 27:10. Why? Well, I get your point, Patrick. I get what you're saying. The reason why I feel like friends are even more important in situations like us or like people that are relocating is because a lot of times they're going to a place they don't have family. They don't have people they're really close to. So, for example, if something happens, God forbid, you need help, are you going to be calling your mom and then the state to be flying in? Are you going to be calling your cousins or your siblings? Like you still need a strong friend group because this is where you live. This is where your base is. Like I feel like when I get what you're saying, when you see people who are able to really make good friends and experience it, trust me, people will know that friends are very important. Like people have friends that are doing things for them that their family can even do for them, that their siblings can't even do for them, that their cousins can't even do for them. So I'm not saying that, like, when it comes to just general, like I said, basic friends, yes, the trust and all that stuff doesn't need to talk about. I don't know if these friends talk about now, but they can be gone tomorrow and you'll be okay. Yeah, but that's anyone. That you can live without anybody. That's the reality. God forbid, even my sister, we don't talk. I won't die. Like, yeah, it would be harder than like my friend, but the reality is that like you can I get what you're trying to say, but I feel like maybe because personally you don't have those friends, you may feel a little differently. So of course you have your natural bias, but for people that have close friends, their friends are close. They people have siblings they don't even talk to. They have family members they're not even close with. So like you can't. I feel like you can't discount the importance of friends. I feel like if you're in a new city,
It's counted
especially,
it. Just saying, don't take it too
of
serious.
course, if you're in a new city, I feel like you should, and you're staying plan to stay there for a certain amount of time, you should have at least one or two friends you're close with. They don't. I don't believe in the best friend term. I don't believe in the whole best friend thing. But I feel like having at least one or two close friends is very important. Like I won't downplay that. I won't downplay that.
I feel like when we start trusting people, we start catching feelings when they do weird stuff. When my friends act weird, it doesn't bother me. LOI, talk to them again when they are ready.
But that also can be that's not necessarily healthy. I get what you're trying to say because that's you trying to protect yourself.
Mhm.
And I get that. And I've treated them the same thing with men. I'm saying that mindset also to an extent is not healthy. I get what you're saying. I get we never talked about the part of kind of trying to be vulnerable. Now you talk about having experiences, people selling your clothes, you're not open. Like there's a level of vulnerability you need to be in a relationship, period. Whether it's a friendship, whether it's an intimate partnership, there's a level of vulnerability. It's hard. We've all been burned. I've lost good friends. I've had people do me wrong. I've been betrayed. I know how deep it hurts. People
You
don't talk
probably have betrayed people too.
right. People don't talk about how painful friendship hurt is. Even because think about when you meet someone, a partner, if you're realistic at this day and age, you have in your mind that this may not work, right? But so I feel like friendship breakups and friendship betrayals, to me, they even hurt deeper than these men. Because at the end of the day, at least at this age, you kind of know like nothing is guaranteed. So I get it. I understand like you gotta tread lightly, you gotta take your time, you have to, you have to vet people. I think that's the big thing. A lot of times people are not vetting in friendships the way we say, oh, vet a man, do this and that. You gotta vet people.
Trisha,
So
not text me back or cancel plans. That doesn't bother me. Pick up from where we left off. But that's not serious stuff, Petra. You're talking
right.
about like little. I'm talking about like I'm not gonna call someone my friend and like I don't know how to explain it. I get what y'all are both saying. Like I'm kind of in the middle, but I like this is I don't care if someone doesn't text me back or cancel
Yeah,
plans.
you can, I
But
guess
I don't have no friendship betrayals. LOL.
I do. Whew, I
Okay.
do.
Number five, don't give off desperate vibes. Desperate energy repels people. I guess when trying to make friends, okay, or meet people.
You don't want to be desperate. I get what you're saying, Mia, but I feel like you also have to be open. Because I feel like sometimes a lot of when people even like a lot of this stuff is transferable to dating. When sometimes people feel like they don't want to be desperate, da, 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 but it's like you still have to be inviting to an extent. Like if you're someone and you want to make friends, you're trying to meet new people, you need to navigate in a way that like, yeah, you're open. Because remember the story talk about some girl trying to meet up and like she's not responding text, and then she's like, yeah, this girl don't want friends. Like there's a certain way you're moving. It's like, yeah, you're not trying to meet people, whether it's man or woman. Like you're not really trying to be out there. You're not really trying to build relationships. So I get what you're saying. Don't be desperate. Yes, but you still have to be open if it's something that you want that you care to pursue.
Okay, so how to overcome loneliness in a new city. So not just friends. I feel like we talked about a lot. A lot of it is going to friends is probably really because I felt like my experience changed when I started making friends. I'm not gonna lie. So friends is very important. But we said Ngozi's tactic is keeping yourself busy. I don't know. For me, sometimes this works, and sometimes I have my moments when like even if I keep myself busy, I can still feel lonely. Even if I'm keeping like I can keep myself busy, I could be cooking, clean because it's still boring stuff. So
Yeah,
even though
that's it. Watch videos, watch movies, watch not this so I'm telling you, by the time you came, I'm not saying that loneliness still doesn't people that don't keep themselves busy don't get lonely. That's not what I'm saying. I get it. But what I'm saying is that I think a lot of times people are festering with all this stuff because they don't have a full life. They don't have other things that keep up. And of course there's a friendship is a part of that. Not to say you're gonna replace it because it's important. But it's the same way people talk about crying about being single and all this stuff. I'm telling you, there's people who are single and they don't even have time to remember they're single. Like they like it's I think it's also too how you use your time and keeping yourself busy. And like I said, keeping yourself too busy is not a good thing either. Because it can make people get to a point where they kind of learn to like substitute that need or substitute that desire with just being productive, doing this, doing that, doing this. But
okay,
if you keep yourself busy, trust me, there's a lot of things to do.
okay. Number one is keep yourself
Definitely.
busy. Number two, do not stay by yourself. Number three, pray to God for discernment when it comes to the people you're meeting. Number four, this is second number four. Always ask yourself when meeting anyone, are you engaged with this person out of loneliness, boredom, programmed, or purpose? Number five, don't give off desperate vibes. Desperate energy repels people. Number six, don't use the friend term
Yeah,
loosely.
I
People are
think
saying
I
that's fine.
think that's it. Yeah.
Mia going in. Number seven, work on yourself and heal from any type of trauma you have before you try to build friendships and relationships in general. Petra said Mia going
Mia,
in.
did you watch TG put up a video today about friends? You know, you be watching TG. So he put up a video today about title you need real friends. And he was going in. It was like 10 minutes. You gotta watch like 10 minutes. You know, he be going in. He was basically saying how like a lot of people are where they are in life because they don't have a set of real friends that can tell them the truth. And I think it's hard, right? Because we're in a time people are very sensitive. You don't want to offend people. Yes, Mia, you don't want to offend people. I'm telling that's what make think about even going back to the friendship part. Is that like I feel like when you have solid friends or you have like real friends, it's like a mirror, like people that kind of keep you accountable. You notice in some people like, yeah, I don't really do friends. I'm not really into this or that. It's like low key for some people. I feel like it's them not want. It's them like of course, like protecting themselves and maybe having bad experience, but also not having like that sense of accountability. Because if you with people, they're gonna tell you, Nana, what you did was wrong. You don't need to like that's not appropriate. You go apologize to that person. Go refund them their money. Go do
I
this.
won't do
Go do
that.
that. You, I'm telling you, if you and you don't want to keep yes people around, like you say, you don't want people who are desperate, who are just about old cloud. They want to be around you because you know maybe you look a certain type of way, you have a certain type of lifestyle. You know that does exist too. Like there are people who just want to be friends with certain types of people to gain. But you need to have a few people that can really tell you the truth, even if it's gonna make you cry. Mia, he said that even if it's gonna make you cry, even if it's gonna make you uncomfortable, even if it's gonna make you upset. At least you know you're not walking around with people letting you look stupid. So yeah, you need that. Yeah.
Okay, eight. I put join a social group that meets
Yes.
weekly or monthly. So I
Yes.
have the greatest with this, but at least I could say like I like my book club. I joined early when I moved here, and I just went last Wednesday. I don't go every month, but I was like, oh, I really because a lot of times I don't read the book, but they'd be like still come even though you didn't read the book. Like this one, I read like 40%. It's really a struggle, y'all. I have to do audiobooks, and even those be a struggle. But I just went. It's just a way to just I've met subscribers there, like like it's just a way to just have like a routine. Okay, at least I know this group of people. Like I'm not that active in the group chat. I'm not as active as I could be. They do other events like related to books and reading, but at least that's one thing. So I would say join a social group that meets weekly and monthly. I wouldn't put church in this because I wouldn't call that a social group. Well,
It
it can
can be a
be.
social group if you're involved. They trust me. I have to mute some of my chats. There's too much going on there. It can definitely be a social. I just muted two of them last week, like this weekend. It could definitely be a social group.
Okay, pay attention to what people say and do. Always talk less and move according. So remember, we talk about overcoming loneliness in a new city. So this is specific to friends. Okay, so this is specific to friends, but in general, just loneliness in a new city. What are some tips? Petra said, take advantage of the nice weather and go outside. Yeah, it's vitamin D. It helps
Yes.
mood. It helps with
Yeah.
stress.
Don't stay in too long.
Walking helps with stress. mood, all of that. This one helps me. I don't know if people say so. We are Mia's is number 9. We'll put number 10. So I don't know if everyone's a phone, but for me, like I would just talk on the phone. And that's one thing that like I'll do it while I'm doing other stuff. And I really don't like multitasking these days because I don't really believe in it. But I can see why people do it because there's only but so many hours in the day. So like while I'm doing something like folding my laundry or cooking or cleaning, I'll just talk on the phone.
I'm not.
And
I have to force myself talking on the phone. 'Cause I'm not- Surprisingly, you think that people are younger, they're more into texting. A lot of people are not texters. Like they, especially I don't know, like they like talking on the phone. I'm not a phone person, but I have to do it once in a while to catch up with people. Like, I could text you my whole life story. I could text you everything that happened to me in April, like right now. So like,
you know,
yes, I may not respond as quick as you want me to, but I'm a texter. I'm not someone that's call. Oh, I need a question. Let me call it now. I'm gonna text you. Like my first action is texting. Calling is like, ugh, I just feel like it just be. I just know it's gonna take too long. That's my thing about being on the phone. Like if I know I have limited time, I'm not a phone person. No, I'm not. Only people I call consistently is my mom or my mom and my man. Like if I have a man, that's who I call like what I say like regularly.
too, y'all the same.
What?
That's Petra too.
Yeah, like that's the only people I feel like I need to consistently be talking on the phone. That's what I mean. And when I say because I mean like I'm at least one, twice, like multiple times a week. No one else I'm not talking on the phone. Like none of even people, but we don't even talk like that.
Yeah, my coworker's like, you don't talk to your sister every day. I'm like,
No,
no. She's like, oh my god,
no,
really? I was like, no. I'm like, I guess it's surprising because like she knows we're close. I was like, we text every day. She's like, y'all don't talk on the phone every day. I'm like, no.
no. The phone just it gives me a little anxiety.
Hear me ago before we rounding up. Keep yourself up, looks wise, physical attraction. Before someone gets to know your personality, they're looking at the way you look. First impression is everything.
And that's when didn't I say that about the look? And it may sound shallow to an extent. And it shouldn't be the main reason you pick your friends, but the reality is that like people may be a criteria for some people. Like they around people like people that look nice, people like people that take care of themselves, people like to be around the type of people. That's just the truth. I don't know if you could say that shallow or get to know somebody. You have to there's something that will draw you to somebody before you want to get to know them, right? Whether it's a commonality, whether it's you got something about them that stands out to you, and for some people that may be their appearance. So
Right.
it is what it is. Like I know one of my friends, I went up to her because she was cute, like like, and I'm like, oh, I like your outfit. Da, 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 da.
Bagging women. But
Yeah,
I put the link in the chat. If anyone is struggling with loneliness in a new city, or anyone has experience in the past of dealing how they overcame loneliness in a new city, or just in general, but I think really specific to like a new city because a lot of people that watch our channel are talking about moving, and I think this is one of the big things that stops a lot of people from moving.
I don't
And
blame them. I
yeah,
don't blame them.
it makes a lot of people just stay put because it's just like, oh my gosh. Because think about it, like Ngozi said, she was experiencing loneliness in her home state, living with her family. So
Mhm.
imagine you picking up from Jersey and going to move to Miami all by yourself, no friends, no family, no one. Like it's fun. It's like it's exciting. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very exciting experience, but at the same time,
I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean, it's a lot.
Mm.
It really, really is a
I was
lot.
talking to my girlfriend other times, like, I don't think I could do this again, even for a husband. She's like, because for a husband, I was like, yeah, because he stopped when I'm telling you, like, it would have to really depend on where, when, how. She's like, yeah, I get it. Like, my hairstylist called me today talking about like legit, we have to find a new nail salon, a new hair salon, a new church, new grocery, like just starting all over again. Like I can't even the thought in
Somewhere that you're bored is like you said, moving could be a life hack.
And like I said, I feel like for you to go up and do that, I feel like you kind of have to just not like where you are. Like it has to be like I don't really care for where I am to just get up and just decide to just start all over again without any like real like reason. Not like for some big job or not like because I'm going to school or not because like you know what I mean, just to get up and say, yeah, I'm just gonna go move. Nah. Like, no, like I can't even think about it. Like it's literally giving me anxiety. Like I don't have any interest. But I get it. If you don't really like where you are, you want to change, it's better to do it earlier than later. You have less attachment, you have less responsibility, especially if you're single, you don't have kids, you literally could just up and go. it does get a little bit more challenging as you get older. So I definitely would recommend anyone who, just wants something new just to do it and don't overthink it. Don't plan too much, just make a change. And like we always say, worst comes to worst, you can always go back to where you came from. There's no shame. That's life. Like it is what it is. At least you could say you had that experience. You lived somewhere different. You've been there. You've lived there. To me, that's what it really comes down to. It's not about, oh, I have to go somewhere and be dedicated to living there for the rest of my life. Nah, nah, I don't believe in that. But yeah, journey to church for young people. Why you cool with young people?
You're trying to meet people. So like church, I mean, I was actually gonna put join a small slash mid size, but I was like, I don't know if that's fair because does it really matter? I don't know. It does matter. So the church I go to, it could be a bit challenging, even though I've been going there for years, kind of on and off, but pretty much consistent. I took a break and went to another church for a few months. But the hardest part is that it's like a mega church with 4 services. So even though this is such a young church, for the most part, I feel like most people are around my age, but you're not going to see the same people every Sunday. You get what I'm saying? Like it's kind of in and out. There's nothing like after church that, you don't really congregate after church. You can though. You can, but depending on the service, it's a lot of traffic going in and out. People are just trying to leave. People are coming in. It's different. It's different from what I'm used to, but it's still, I'm not going to just blame the church. It's me too. Like I would have to do extra stuff to get involved and meet people. And I'm just like, huh, how I've been there. I've only met like a couple of people.
Before we have Mia Joe, the reason why church is such a good one because you meet weekly. We keep talking about the cadence. Even these organizations, you're having a monthly meeting. Church is somewhere that you're going every week. You're seeing people every week. So that's why, we Christians here, we can't recommend any other place to worship. But I just really believe in going somewhere you're going to see people on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly at the maximum basis, because that's where you're going to really get to build those relationships and those friendships. But yeah, I'm gonna add Mia to the stage. Hi Mia. Hi Mia, we can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Hey, can you hear
Oh,
me?
yes, we can hear you now. How are you?
Good. How are y'all?
Good. How's Ohio?
Same old, different day.
Okay, so how do you feel about this? I know you lived in Charlotte for what, a couple of years, or was it briefly? Can you kind of speak on? Did you ever feel like lonely living in Charlotte? Did you ever experience this?
Yeah, I would say for me, I'm an extrovert, so I don't mind going out by myself. And like I said, I go back to keeping yourself up because a day that's naturally gonna attract women and men towards you, men in relationships, women as friendships. A day we're naturally as females, we critical when it comes to a female. So at the end of the day, that's the reason why I always tell people first impression is everything. At the end of the day, that's gonna let me know when I see somebody like, oh, okay, yes, I could see you as my friend hanging out, or if I can't, because I'm not the type of female. Some females, it depends, they want to be the best looking out their group. No, I believe we all got to be on the same page. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I look at it. I don't want to hang with somebody that's looking worse than me. No, because then you're gonna make me look like I got low self-esteem and that I hang with anybody. But that's the way I
Yo,
look
me
at
had to bring it up, but it's true though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hold you. I know people don't like this type of talk. All these videos are going viral. Being ugly is a choice. How to look put together. There's a lot of that content on YouTube, and it's a real thing. Like people like attractive people. Like I'm telling you, like people will go above and beyond for you. Think about when you dress up versus when you don't dress up. How people treat you.
it.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's true, and, like it is what it is. Like, it don't mean you have to be like, walking around like looking like a model every day, but you want to be with someone who at least like looks decently put together. Yeah.
Yes, that is so true. And even I listen to Tony Gaskins when he even talk about fashion. He had some courses on his stuff with fashion and everything. They was on sale the other day, like 80% off. So he went in, he was like,
PG is a
females, this is the
true.
way you need to look when you're stepping out. Like he hit it to a T. So I'm like,
No,
oh, I
Tony
guess some
Gaskett
things
is
I
the
gotta throw
truth.
away then.
He's the truth. I'm sorry.
I think
He talk a lot.
I think you were having static, but I don't know if you can hear it now. Is it static now? But
I
I
can
think
hear her now.
sometimes it's about going out. It can be like you go to work Monday through Friday, and on the weekend you want to relax a little bit. You know what I mean? And then you're saying go out again all weekend. It's just
Go out Monday through Friday. That's going to work. That's not going out. Going out.
yeah, but you leaving
That's
your house, you getting ready.
But it's not social. It's different. I get what you're trying to say, but it's not social. You going out to work is different than you going out to like mingle and be with, like-minded people. It's not the same.
Okay, Mia. And then I don't know, this thing is like breaking up. Okay, so Mia, did you ever feel lonely living in Charlotte?
I would say at the beginning because I didn't know anyone, but I would say it passed after a few weeks because then I started just researching, places to go to and everything, and that's how I met a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, but also I don't mind going out to a bar, a club, and stuff like that by myself. It don't bother me. So I went on the group Meetup, which they have so many different groups that I met people and everything else like that. We actually it was like a game night, and then I met some people that like to do the same thing I like to do, and then we just kept hanging together. But at the end of the day, I'm that type of person. So I guess if a person's an introvert, that's very hard. That's very hard.
Do you still talk? We had the comments about friends and we were going back and forth. Do you still talk to any of the people you met in Charlotte like consistently? Like, are you still close to anybody?
Oh yeah, I still talk to them. Yeah. So even when me and your sister had met him, I was busy that whole weekend with other people. You know what I'm saying? Like like my friends and everything down there. But like I said, I'm an introvert. An extrovert. So it's totally different for me. I couldn't imagine being an introvert and moving to a new city. No, it's no
Right.
way. And then I think it goes into working at a job that's also not at home because one, if you work remote, how are you really going to meet people too, especially if you're an introvert? That's very hard.
I think that for sure if you're introvert. But let me ask this question. How do you feel about people who are like in relationships or married but still say they feel lonely? Do you think that's possible?
I do because it's a lot of people that fake stuff. They I would say with the social media lifestyle, a lot of people fake stuff. So at the end of the day, you can read between the lines, especially just if you really pay attention to people at the end of the day. Like, yes, they say that they married and everything, but their husband don't even spend time with them. Their girlfriend don't spend time with them. So if you really pay attention to people by the way they move and talk, you can read everything without somebody even saying
But
anything.
how about if they have a good relationship with their partner? Do you feel as if the point I guess I'm trying to say is like even if let's say you have a good relationship with your boyfriend or you're married, you have a good marriage, like people still experiencing loneliness. It kind of goes down to our point talking about still the importance of friends. Like because even if you have a good partner, like there's still a level of like what you want to do with your partner, right? You do want to do everything with your partner. Like do you want your partner to be like your only friend, your only outlet? Like because what I'm saying is because I notice a lot of people who are like partnered or married, they'll still talk about like wanting friends. I always be thinking like if I had a man or if I was married, I wouldn't be worried about friends. But it kind of goes back to the point we talk about how like friends still play that role because it's like even if you have a good partner or you have a good relationship, that person can't be your everything. Like you can't do everything with them. Like you still need your outlet. You still need your female friends you could talk to. He still needs his guy friends you could talk to. You still need your other people. So it's not easy. And like I said, I don't knock anyone who stays where they are the rest of their life. You don't have the personality for it. Just stay in your city and do the best you can because it's not easy starting all over again and meeting people. It's not for everyone, so I don't shame anyone who isn't about that life. But
So let me ask y'all this: like, would you say, as far as I have noticed, just based off my experience, which I was bad at this a long time ago, but as females, when you naturally have a guy that you're so over, you know what I'm saying, over the hills with whatever, like it seems like you naturally put the friendships on the back
yep,
burner versus
yep,
guys.
yep.
I don't see
Hundred
them do
percent.
that
I
as
don't see
much.
men stop their friends because they have a girlfriend, even a wife. No, no, it's rare. I agree with
Yes,
you 100%. I feel like a lot of women learn the hard way. Don't do that because
yes.
if and when things don't work, I just watched a video yesterday. I commented and mad people are liking it. This one of my Nigerian ladies I follow, Nezaville. She was talking about how a lot of advice given people, especially women when they get married, like don't forget about like your family before marriage. Some people feel like, oh, I'm building my new family now. They take precedence, but then when things go wrong, you realize that you don't have that support that you wanted. So I think that men are better at that for sure. Like a man is not stopping chilling with his friends because of you. Like no, they're not putting their friends on the back burner because they have a girl or no. women do that, and we need to stop, because you don't want to be that friend that just comes around when you don't have a man in your life. Like you don't want your friends to kind of feel like you're using them, like no.
So why do you think females do that versus guys?
I think it's our nature. Women get lost in relationships. Men don't get lost in relationships the way
Mm.
women do. That's just facts. Like I'm not saying men don't put in effort, but men are more quote unquote rational. So I feel like they don't move the same way when they're in love or when they really like someone the way women do. No.
Still hearing that static a little bit, but I think it's also I was talking to my friend. I think also because women idolize marriage and relationships.
It's an achievement. It's a goal, right?
They idolize it, so they're willing to sacrifice anything for it, right? Because they're obsessed with the idea. Versus, I don't think guys idolize relationships and marriage. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was the background me when we were talking. We're hearing static. Okay, but yeah,
Oh,
thank you
sorry.
so much for joining me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. Yes. Yeah, we just wanted to get in here because I haven't gone live that's crazy the way this time is going. May is on Thursday. But thank you all so much for joining. Let us know how you feel about this and what you want us to talk about next. And if you want to comment down below, what was your experience combating loneliness? Okay, Tina, we see you. You know,
So we're not done.
and what do you want to talk about again? Go into it. Justina, have you ever experienced loneliness in Charlotte? Or what would you recommend for someone who is experiencing loneliness?
How about a roommate? Like, do you think someone that's experiencing loneliness?
Yeah, I think personally, I feel like some people aren't really designed to live by themselves. We talked about the big reason why loneliness is such an issue because it can lead to depression, and a part of depression for people is isolation. So if you don't really have that personality, you don't really do well being by yourself. There's no shame in it. Get a roommate, live with people, because we talked about like being around people can help, but you can't be around people 24/7. You can't be around people all the time, right? So at least you have someone that you're living with. I think that helps because that's somebody that, if y'all are cool, you have someone you live with, that helps because at least it's someone that you're guaranteed to be seeing on a daily basis, right? Yeah, okay. Justina hit this. A roommate can help. However, just like you could be married and still lonely, the same is true for a roommate. I agree. I agree that we talked about that. Because asking me about people that are loneliness is deeper than just being around people. It's about the connection you have with these people, the trust, the vulnerability. People. What? Thank you, Nadine.
No, Nadine hit this. I can't believe I didn't put this. 13. You need a lot of people. I was talking to
They don't
some.
have hobbies.
I realized I feel like I watch men the way they move. Like, okay, for example, some African men Saturday they'll go play soccer, right? In the morning. Like they have like stuff
Like this routine around like their hobbies and like their like it's inbuilt.
I feel like a lot of women naturally because we're not as physically active usually. Like I don't know, we're physically active, but I feel like men
have real hobbies. A lot of women, their hobby is men.
like they don't really have a lot of hobbies. Like think about
Yeah.
it. Like, really, I remember one time my friend told me that this guy told her that she needs hobbies. You know what I mean? And she kind of got offended.
It's like how Netta, we talk about how college basketball ended and it feels so weird.
Like
Because that was like our hobby.
I think that's why April has been such a weird month for me because it's like I'm kind of like bored. I'm like, what to do? What do I watch? Like, what do I do?
Handmaid's Tale. I'm watching the last episode tonight.
I'm like, do I need to like? I don't know. I just felt
No,
weird.
it helps you go through time. I'm telling you, time. That's the point I kind of made, and I was telling you about YouTube and all that stuff. I'm telling you, if you have a hobby, you have someone that you follow every week, you have a show you watch every week, every Thursday, every Wednesday. It helps. You have something to look forward to. Time just be flying. Women, yo, Nadine going in. I'm telling you, TG. Let me talk about TG earlier. I'm saying out in the group TG's video. TG said it like men cannot be by themselves. Like when women understand the power and they get it, like I think that it really is part of it. Men are natural, I feel like more social creatures, and they really don't do well by themselves compared to women. Like I really do feel like women are more okay, whether it's actually being alone, like not being in a relationship, not really being around a lot of people, not really having a lot of friends. Like women can really be by themselves more compared to men. So I do think that's maybe why we're not as into other hobbies. They try and paint women off like we're too much drama. We're always fighting each other. We're always gossiping. We're always backbiting. That could be true, but I don't think that's really the real reason. I think that women are just more self-sufficient, like you mentioned, and we can really be by ourselves. So we don't like crave that. We don't crave that as much. Date multiple. Oh my
How to
god.
overcome loneliness in a new city. I mean,
Yeah,
dating.
if you have a roster, trust me, that helps too. Because by the time you have a date Thursday, you have a date Saturday, you do this, like time be going. That is part of the loneliness could be not being partnered, right? Like just overall generally, because you think about when you have a partner, that's someone that you do a lot of things together by default. If you want to try, like a lot of times people be like, "Oh, I can't do this by myself. I'm not comfortable." And I get it, but I feel like, "Are you single?" And they're like, "Yeah." So to me, if you're single and you tell me you can't travel by yourself, you can't go out to eat by yourself, it's almost like I don't know how do I word this. I feel like if you're a single person, there's certain things you have to just get used to doing by yourself. Because if you're waiting for that partner, there's a lot of
Dating,
things you know.
they don't want to do nothing. They don't like even if you're dating. I mean, you talk about relationship or just dating. Even if you're dating, are
Oh,
you
you wanna
going?
go right now? Oh, I want to go right now to this lake in Austin. You know, I'm not gonna talk to. I've never been to Austin, but I went to San Antonio this month, so I'm trying. Austin is coming this year. I feel like right now, let's say I have a relationship, I don't have to look for someone to go. Like I can go by myself, but we always know going by yourself is more expensive. It's more like you're focused on you have to plan everything. So it's more of a reason to like kind of not do stuff. But if I'm with my man, I'm like, yeah, you free into it. Let's go here. Okay. Like it's you have someone to just like do stuff with. It's just easier compared to like maybe trying to do stuff with friends. Hi, you gotta watch the play. We were talking about friends earlier. You gotta watch the playback. Um, yeah. So I think that being partnered definitely can help with the loneliness for sure. Like let's not get around that. It definitely can. Look for community, build community. We touched on that. Yeah.
Agrees and look for community. But looking for community, you got to do the work. That's the thing. Community is not just going to come on your doorstep. So that's the thing. You have to really be intentional. I'm not going to lie, especially being somewhere like I still feel like even though I've been in Charlotte almost 5 years, I still feel like sometimes I don't really have community. Even though I know people, like people move, they come back. You kind of stay. Like I've had a couple years, I kind of just stayed to myself. Just doing my own thing. That like and I'll meet people that's been here longer than me, and they still say they don't have
But I
friends.
think it's, and I told you about the trucker I watched from Houston. I can't remember her name. She talked about how uncle told her you give yourself about these 5 years to really build like a community wherever you go. And I think part of your reason is particular to Charlotte is that a lot of people go through Charlotte. So they don't really stay there long term. A lot of people go there and they go somewhere else. You know what I mean? So I think it's just like I said, I think it's hard because a lot of people build community through like a common thing, right? Like whether it's a common interest, a association they're a part of. So I feel like you also have to be doing something frequently. Like you know what I mean? You have to be doing something on a frequent cadence to be seeing these people and building that relationships. You can't go to a meeting every 3 months and think you're gonna build a community like that. No. How often are you seeing these people? How often are you communicating with these people? It's not gonna work. So I get what you're saying, but trust me, it's possible. I've seen people are doing it. People are moving somewhere. They have their group of friends solid. They're like, it may take a little bit of time, but it's doable. Like you say, you just have to be willing to put in the effort. Nothing good comes easy. That's life. Nothing good comes easy.
Any other tips, anyone? How to overcome loneliness in a new city? And I think being lonely is normal, but I think it's an issue if you're feeling constantly
Mhm.
lonely. Like every day you're feeling like, have you ever, well, Ngozi doesn't get lonely, but have you ever felt a feeling like, I felt it before, I'm not going to front, I'm being vulnerable on this live. have,
Bye.
you,
Keep talking.
have you ever felt a feeling that's like you don't want to go home?
I
Like,
thought those things outside. That's how people. That's how we always be defending the outside people.
oh, another way to overcome
Be
loneliness.
outside. Be
My
outside.
my friend was saying this. Be out.
No, I'm telling you. That's how we. I don't. Of course, I'm not crazy about the club, all that stuff. I understand why people be outside because no matter, like I said, you can meet people. Think about just meeting men. You can meet good friends outside. You can meet people. That's how you build community. And a lot of times, is you're just around people. It's not as you're social. You're getting that energy from other people versus being in your apartment in your house by yourself. So we defend some of the men who are always in the club. They're always outside. Nadine said as long as they're single, it's not an issue with them. But Nadine said I look forward to going home after your shifts, right? But a lot of people do be outside because they don't want to be in their house by themselves. They know like they want to be around people. So like I said I'm a extroverted loner. So I can do both, but I definitely, as the weather gets nice.
No one said outside has to just be the club.
Yeah, there's restaurants, there's lounges, there's so many things,
Mall.
activities, right? Just being out and seeing people and being seen and being social. As hard as the weather gets nicer, y'all. I've been good. I've been good this year. I haven't really been going out, but that's not going out's not bad. But I'm saying I've been like staying in. Correct, because building a fresh community, you need to be consistent connection to other. Yeah, you can't be going, oh, I'm a part of this organization, and you're part of 4 clubs, 4 groups, and you go to each one once every 6 months. What is that? It's better to be a part of one thing and be active. Be a part of 2 things, be active. Not join this group, join this club, join this organization, join this. How often are you going there? How often are you seeing the people? You need those touch points. It is what it is. That's why, like I said, I don't know if you join later. That's why I say, I advocate church. And then I said join a church with young people, but church is a weekly touch point versus even these organizations, their meetings usually are every month, and that's better than nothing, right? But a month is still a long time. It's not like you're seeing those people that often versus church or like a group that maybe they meet every month, but they have a lot of social activities, throughout the month. So you have this event, you have that event. That's how you get to, really to meet people. Even a group that I'm in, I talked about how a lot of times people want to go to social events, but the monthly meetings I feel like are where people really get to meet people and really have the time to really connect and like have that dialogue and really like get to know people. So I think the key is to also I think the key is also to determine why you feel lonely. Yeah. And I think sometimes people never really know. Yeah. People, maybe you need a child. Maybe maybe you need a child, Maybe that's what's gonna help you not feel lonely. That's true. But I feel like sometimes you really don't know. You may think you have an idea oh yeah, some people need counseling. Yeah, for real. If it's that to that level, you need to talk to somebody, a neutral party. You may not have that many friends. Even if you have friends, you don't want to offload on people. So telling people all your business. Petra said don't trust no one. So you got to take your time. I know what it feels like to be offloaded, and I'm not really like big on that. Of course, you have to support your friends here and there, but certain things you do need to just have a neutral body, like a therapist, to go to and get that counseling and get that help that you need for sure. Yeah, see a therapist. Better help, come sponsor us. But yeah, see a therapist. Roller skating? I can't roller skate.
I think the key is also determine why you feel lonely. But is it why? It's like saying, why does someone feel sad, or why does someone feel happy, or why does someone feel mad?
Or why are you depressed? Like sometimes you don't know. That's some thanks to me. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you really don't. Yeah, sometimes you can't really be determined. But loneliness to an extent, it's like how people talk about anxiety. I was reading this article about it. Like anxiety in itself is not bad. Like there's a level of anxiety that makes you get up. Like I was trying to nap before this live, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be late. Like let me get up. Like this level of anxiety that makes you get up and get to work on time, that makes you get things done, that makes you be productive, is when it's like uncontrolled anxiety. Is when the anxiety is like crippling, when it's stopping your life, that it becomes an issue. So I feel like loneliness is a natural, feeling. Like people get lonely here and there. Like it's not that big of a deal. But if it's like consistent, or you feel like it's like affecting to the point that like it's not affecting your mood, it's affecting how you behave, you just feel like you're going into depression, that's not good. You want to definitely seek professional help as soon as you can. It's better earlier than later.
Okay, see a therapist. Mia said, do you think some people feel lonely because they were always in a relationship, always live with people? No, not necessarily. I don't think so. Because I think you could live alone and still move to a new city and have lived alone before, and then you come to a new city. If you're not around people, if you don't know anyone, you can still have that feeling.
Yeah, but yeah. CJ, be outside is super important. Friends are not going to randomly pair in the room. Yeah, TG talks about this to me about people he talk about going out. It's not always for a man. Some people feel like only going out. I have to coach some people, even some of my friends, like you cannot go out thinking like if you didn't get a number or you didn't meet a guy, it's a waste. You're going out for your mental health. You're going out for socializing, and you can meet people. You don't know your next business deal could be from someone that you met outside. It's networking. You can make great friends from where are you going to meet people? So, if you really don't want to be by yourself, like you said, and you don't have friends maybe that you can just go stay with them or spend time with them, or they can come over to you, go out, talk to people. You know, they don't bite. You know, I know there's some crazy people out there, but there's also some really good people out there. So don't don't put that in your head, y'all. But we're gonna round up, y'all. Thank you all so much for joining. Next Tuesday, what is that? May 6th, right? That's
Mm.
week, y'all. But I think I should be available for y'all. We'll see. We'll see what. Let me know y'all what y'all want us to talk about. You know, we want to be going live at least like 2 times a month, but it'd be hard. So I'm happy we just pushed through and made it today. But let us know what you want to talk about. Anything trending? You know, we don't. You know, we do trendy stuff when it deal with Nigerian men and dating. You know, y'all like that type of stuff. But if you want us to discuss a topic or something you think is relevant to the type of videos that we make, put it in the comment section of this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you all hopefully next week, but definitely next month.
I hope we gave some good tips about how to overcome loneliness.
I'm so. Oh, let me end up with this song. I don't know if you know this song. Any Maryland people like Go Go, but this is actually original song. What's the song? I'm so sick of being lonely every night. There's the go-go version. I love that go-go version of that song. Don't be lonely. Also, Nana said, call after this live. If you're lonely, call a friend, call somebody, reach out to someone. Also, you know, you'll be surprised how many people are feeling the same way.
Last one, I think that helps. I think sometimes people feel loneliness more when it's. I know it's gonna sound weird when it's really quiet. So I think what Ngozi does, kind of what I think what Ngozi doesn't realize she does, Ngozi always has the TV on. She always has YouTube on.
I have my Fuji music, my Fuji music.
Your apartment and it's quiet, you're gonna feel like, wow, I'm by myself. I am
dancing with K1 and Wasu. They be dancing. I'll be with K1 and Wasu in my apartment. I'm gonna perform for y'all one day. Don't worry. Like people, like it's an obsession. Like I be literally here. I have TG streaming. I have live streaming. Like I really don't. I get sometimes you need that quiet, especially for certain things with work. I gotta really concentrate, so I can't have any background. But if it's like stuff that I can listen to, stuff like I don't just be sitting there with nothing, like playing. You know, I work from home. So for work from home people, we have our own challenges when it comes to, I guess, combating loneliness. Because of course, like we're not seeing people, we're not going into work. Like you're staying by yourself every day for the most part. So you know, there's a lot of people who can't do it. Like it's not good for their mental, and I respect that. But go on.
You're welcome. Happy
Linda.
I'm learning from this list too. We all are. Go on PayPal and hire a companion. Huh?
I don't know what that is. Papa Pow. Okay. Are they hiring? I'm about to people. I think I know what you're speaking to. But yeah, thank you all so much. We will see you all next month. Bye.
Bye. Happy Tuesday. Happy